What were your thoughts, Mimi, when you first met Tam?
But they're happy, so it's me.
Yeah.
Right. My mentality.
And what kind of profession were you in? What are you up to? Is it something that you would choose, Tam, yourself, for Thailand? It was love at first sight. Is there any reason why you didn't want to retire in Glasgow?
And I have another friend. She always a good customer.
Then went back to Australia, was slapped in the face again with Western mentality. They just attack on each other.
Yeah.
They're crazy. Let's be realistic. It's a great place, but you do have your tie down days. Mm-hmm. Like yesterday, I had a bit of a meltdown.
Okay. And what were you doing in Surin before, Mimi?
Before Sam.
You question, is this the right thing, or is what is it for you? The reason. Today I'm with Tam and Mimi. I'm on the border, just crossing over into Surin. I'm actually very close to the border where the conflict's been going on. We're going to be hearing a little bit about that today. Tam and Mimi are going to be walking us around their house and their shop here today, and then we're going to be going over to a bit of farmland that Tam manages. So let's go and chat with Tam and Mimi.
Hey, good to see you, Ryan.
Thanks for the invite today. So first question, we have only just met ourselves, so I know nothing about your guys' story. How long have you been here, Tam? How long have you been in Thailand?
So I arrived in Thailand mid-2023. Set up home in Bangkok, in On Not in Bangkok. Fantastic. Amazing city. And then some mutual friends of ours connected on Facebook, and I went, who the hell is that? Oh, that's my friend Mimi in Surin. So we chatted, and then I jumped in a taxi from Bangkok through to Surin and never left.
And what were you doing back in the UK before you came to Thailand? What kind of profession were you in? What were you up to?
So I was 24 years British Navy.
Okay.
Royal Navy from 81 through 2004, 2005. Left there and went to live in Chile for 5 years, in Patagonia in Chile. And that was retirement 1.0. And then from there, moved to Australia for 16 years. Stayed in the energy sector. I was doing some energy consulting. And I was about 7 or 8 years in Newcastle, New South Wales. And then saw the light and moved to Sydney. Yeah. I spent the last 9 years there. And then my health took a bit of a dip. I was at 105 kilos, had 2 minor strokes, cortisol through the roof.
Wow. Suffer
from gout and just became a right miserable git. And then came to Thailand.
And do you think it was a lifestyle thing with your health issues?
Yeah.
And this was one of the main reasons that you came to Thailand?
Yeah, for sure. In recruitment, it's champagne and razor blades. One day you're through the roof, counting thousands of dollars, and then next day they all fall off. All the jobs fall off, and you're at the razor blade drawer. So yeah, it's a bit stressful.
So your lifestyle was a lot of drinking then, or partying, or was it more? What was the reason you're overweight? It was a sedentary lifestyle in recruitment.
Yes, for sure. In the military, there's a lot of drinking going on. As everybody knows, the military is a drinking culture. But you're always on the move, so you're always moving around. It's when I went to Australia, and it was becoming a shiny ass desk job, so I just piled the weight on. And for me, people that get stressed out hit the booze, I hit the chocolate.
Oh, really?
So just a chocolate freak.
Yeah.
I love the chocolate. And of course now we've got a sweet shop.
And so you mentioned you lived in Bangkok first, and then when you came over to Surin, met Mimi.
Yeah.
It was love at first sight.
Yeah. I think it was more the prospect of farming that got me. Because having studied permaculture and permaculture techniques.
Not got you on Mimi, got you on Surin. Right.
Oh yeah. Sorry. So it was the prospect of farming. I did a lot of theoretical work on permaculture, and I'd always wanted to do things differently. When you talk about sustainable living, it's not all the smoke and mirrors, greenwashing. Real sustainable living, which is growing your own veggies, growing your own meat, producing your own electricity, water. Controlling your own needs, I suppose. And I saw that here, and of course that comes with Mimi. Yeah.
And but about when you guys first met, though, was there anything in particular you had in common, or like not only the love for farming? Because Mimi, you're a farmer. Yeah. And so was there anything that you had in common? A lot of people come here and they find it difficult to find it difficult to have long-term relationships, people that they can trust. Like, how do you know it's going to work out and you're going to be with somebody? I meet a lot of people that are in successful relationships, of course, doing this. What was it, do you think, that's worked out about the relationship, and what did you see from the start coming from Bangkok to Surin?
Easy. I'm the fire, she's the water. So I go from 0 to 30,000 feet in 2 seconds, and she calms me down. Jayen Tirak.
With the language barrier, Mimi's English is you can speak English well, Mimi?
60%.
60%? You want to come join while I ask you a question? I want to ask you about when you guys first met. So, what were your thoughts, Mimi, when you first met Tam?
First met Tam, right? So I'm tried my friend for be friend for a long time, and if they say it's good guy, I'm tried them too.
Okay. So you thought your friend said he's a good guy, so you got talking, and then he came to Surin.
Yeah.
And what was your first thinking?
Oh, was exciting. 2 hours to find some clothes to wear.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Were you nervous?
Yeah. Very much.
Yeah, a little bit nervous. But now it's worked out very fine. And do you think your personalities is similar? You like the same things?
We like to be like a nature and eat the same, spicy the same,
Yeah.
and no smoke the same.
Okay, good.
That's important.
That's important for you.
Yeah. And some alcohol sometime.
And what were you doing in Surin before, Mimi?
Before I been have work for insurance for.
You work for an insurance company, yeah?
Yeah.
Mimi, you'd already built this place and designed it, and you have a son. How old is your son, Mimi?
25, 27.
Oh, not a baby anymore.
No,
Not babies anymore.
There's two
Man,
boys.
man.
Johnny's in Bangkok, and Bowie he's in Pattaya.
Okay. And so then when you came along, Tam, you added the small business, the shop here. Do you want to show us inside?
Yeah, sure.
Let's take a look. And here, your customers that are coming here, are they mainly Thai? You did say there's some foreigners in the area too.
It's about 98% Thai and 2% Farang.
We're actually going through this at our village at the moment. So yeah, my wife's sister's built a little shop there. Is there a decent margin to be made? Do you think there's enough margin to be made on a small shop like this? And is there anything that you sell in particular that other people don't have in the area?
Yeah, that's a good point. So margins are very low. So it's a numbers game, really. And the reason the whole shop's here in the first place, Ryan, is because the road you came in on here, they're going to turn into a 4-laner for the sugarcane trucks. Yeah, because come November, the sugarcane trucks just go. So in doing so, they're taking away the other corner shop. So Mimi, with the bright ideas, wanted to monopolise on that. And
My dream too.
dream was to open a shop up to take away the traffic. But the road's still a 2-lane and the shop's still there. So we're actually going through a bit of a soft opening. And we find most of Mimi's customers are kids.
Before school, after school? Or?
Before school. So before school, sometimes they'll come for hot noodles. They get the old jug over there. Mm-hmm. Hot noodles. And she does some sandwiches. There's these egg sandwiches and so forth. And then, of course, after school, the kids will come and do homework in the little gratom out there where we were sat. And they'll get their sugar hit and their drinks, and then mums and dads will come and get whatever they need as we see as they walk around.
Bit of rice whiskey sometimes, or
Oh, I don't know what that is, mate. Oh, there it is.
the old Lao Cow.
Old Lao Cow.
The cornerstone of rural Thailand Mini-Marts.
Heartbeat of rural Thailand.
For anybody that doesn't know, how do they usually buy the rice whiskey, the locals here?
So they usually come in and get a tot at a time, a beck. A beck and some nibbles. A beck and some of these. One of these.
Right.
Little bag of nuts and peas and whatever that is.
And a shot.
And a shot.
A shot of rice whiskey.
A shot of Lao Cow. Yeah.
Now, one question I'm often asked on the channel, especially like somebody in your situation where you have some health concerns, what are your thoughts on like the Thai healthcare being taken care of here and getting older here?
Yeah, that's a good one. So I've actually got life insurance at the moment, and it was something I looked into recently. Spoken to my insurance company and said, listen, how far ahead will you still insure me? Because I've heard simply went, no, so long as you keep your policy started before you were 60, because I arrived here at 58, 59. If you keep it going, we'll still insure you. Premiums will go through the roof as you get older. Yeah. Both my parents are in the mid-80s, so my net average is looking good. As for the health-wise, so since I've been here, I had shingles and was looked after. Yep. Amazing. And then one day we were in Chongjom at the market, and Mimi decided to buy some mushrooms at the side of the road. We brought them back and cooked them within an hour. We were in ER.
Oh no, death cats.
Don't know, mate. But they put both of us in the same room. So every time the nurse came in for the vital, she's like, "Oh, man, oh, woman, oh." I said, "Yeah, honeymoon suite." So we were looked after there. I had an E. coli infection as well.
You've done it all, basically. All that Thailand has to offer.
I'm testing everything they've got to offer, mate. So yeah, we've been looked at, and we went to the hospital every day to get their bloods done, and they were brilliant, explained it all in English, because a lot of the doctors speak good English.
Were these private hospitals or government hospitals?
Government, public.
And did you find that the bills at the end, did you use your insurance or did you end up paying?
Paid it myself.
Yeah.
As you know, the Thai gold card's like 30 baht a hit.
Yeah. That's for Mimi.
Yeah.
He gets 30 baht.
Yeah.
But for yourself, like when you were treated for dengue, was it expensive?
I think totaled about 600 baht over 4
Really?
days.
4 days, 600 baht.
I didn't stay in. I didn't
Okay.
stay in that time. We just came home and drove back in the morning, got bloods done. But no, the healthcare service is fantastic.
And how old are you now? Tam?
61.
61. So, and you're still looking sharp, my friend.
Man.
You feel secure about growing old here, you know, into your 70s and
Yeah.
80s, and you've set up shop here. And
Yeah, now that I've contacted the insurance companies and they said that they will insure me going forward,
yeah,
and even if I do take a hit on the insurance policy, the premium just goes up. So rather than putting aside 3 million, 3 million just for those cases, then it's just going to eat away every year at a premium.
yeah,
But that'll be fine, because then Mimi can look after me with the shop,
yeah.
can't you?
That's what I say. And then originally you're from Glasgow, but it sounds like you kind of left and you've been out of the country a long time. Is there any reason why you didn't want to retire in Glasgow?
No, not really. Still very proud to be Scottish,
Yeah,
and in particular all the things that Scotland through innovation and has given the world.
yeah,
It's great. Some amazing people, beautiful country, but it's still stuck in that Western mentality. So I took time out. I had retirement 1.0 in Chile, and that was amazing. It was away from the West. Then went back to Australia, was slapped in the face again with Western mentality, and didn't like it at all. So I came here, and now I'm back. This is almost the same as Chile.
What do you think is the core difference when you say Western mentality?
Permission for everything, and even getting charged for walking the cracks in the pavement, and taxes. They tax everything. They even tax your tax rebate. It's like Big Brother full on over there.
Yeah,
And it's not about, I've got nothing. If you get nothing to hide, you're fine. Privacy is privacy, and I don't give a shit what you think. I don't want my face on camera everywhere I turn. Apart from that one. But I invited you.
Yeah. Now, interesting segue then would be: did you have to have particular planning permission for this shop or not?
Yes, we saw the Obrador. What's it called? Obrador. And they come and they discuss it with us, and then they give you this 8 to 16 page booklet with all your drawings on it, and then you show it to your contractor and he builds it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you find it was a tedious process or it was quite easy?
Easy.
Yeah.
Very easy. Rural is certain things in rural Thailand is easier. It's like even immigration. You ever been to Chiang Watana versus Surin? You walk in, there's a beautiful big building, and it's like there's no one there.
Yeah.
So a lot of things are easier in rural Thailand.
Yeah. Do you imagine live here forever now? You don't want to move ever again? This is where you want to be in Surin?
No, I want to stay here, live here.
It's your home.
Yeah.
And Tam tells me that your family live around here. Which family live close by?
All sister, 2, 3, 4 sister around same area, same soil. And my mom also. And I have another friend. She always good customer.
She's a good customer.
Yeah. I've been send message to her and come here.
I notice over there you've got a buffalo cart there and you've got one inside here. So what's the story behind that, Tam?
We were driving past like a ruined Thai place in Prakonchai, I saw that buffalo cart outside, and Mimi goes, I used to drive one of them when I was 9. I was like, what? And then we got the full story, so we pulled in and I bought it. And then on doing so, we goes, I'll give you a special deal on it. So I thought, right, I'm looking ahead now. Before the shop gets built, I'm going to put another buffalo cart inside, with a bale of hay and like a display cabinet. And then for Mimi's birthday, it's a bit of AI and a bit of I'm an ex-photographer as well, so my Photoshop wizard. So I designed that for her as well, and that's Mimi. That's a photograph of Mimi in that girl's body, and then a photograph of her using that hat behind it.
How much were they? The buffalo carts?
The first one was about 30k, 30,000 baht, and that one was about 14.
Okay, yeah. They're antiques and they'll be gone soon.
They'll last as long as the Cambodian bombs stay away, yeah.
That's the other thing as well, because you are very close to the border, you guys.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm 40 kilometres away and we've had problems. You have been right in the epicenter of it. So what actually happened during the when it all broke out recently?
So that first morning, we were 2 weeks into dengue, and I was just starting to feel a bit better. Mimi had a bit of a false peak and then died a death again. But I was brushing my teeth one morning and I thought, I don't remember hearing that thunderstorm. And I went, oh, that's artillery. So I walked outside and she's going, they've started. I'm going, okay. So it was like, so I got my camera and jumped to the second floor looking around, couldn't see anything. And then they bombed the hospital 2 kilometres away. So that's when we decided to pack up and I just went to Surin.
And now you've had no problems since?
Apart
from a few drones flying over and things like that?
Yeah, the usual drones flying over, like most people along the border. Speak to some of my mates in Sanka and they've heard them as well. But no, nothing. I was quite surprised. I was expecting them to kick off one more time.
And has it made you rethink about living here or not?
Nah.
Well, you're ex-military as well.
Yeah.
I guess it's part of your life.
Yeah, we've got boxes and things in there ready to go, much like you have yourself.
Yeah.
Straight in the truck and gone.
And then final question regarding the shop. What was your total investment in setting a Mini-Mart up like this?
Yeah, I think we're about 750 here.
Okay.
It was local farmers who built it.
Yeah. And so just before we jump back into today's story, I'd like to share something that might be useful to some of you. Many people that watch this channel are either here living in Thailand or they're thinking about coming out this way to Asia. And I also hear from you that many are planning family holidays in and around the area. One of the places that we're looking at the moment is Japan. And what we have found is that the sponsors of today's vlog, Klook, have come in very useful in the whole process of booking and organising that trip. With Klook, you can book everything from theme parks to eSIMs to day trips and even airport transfers all in one place. The process is quick, supports local currencies like baht, and it's often cheaper than booking direct. What's really stood out to me through this booking process is the Klook Pass Greater Tokyo. It bundles a big bunch of attractions together, helps save you money, and even lets you skip queues. I'll show you very briefly how it works. I simply opened the app, chose the date, booked the package and paid, and that was job done. Everything was done in under a minute. And so if you're planning a trip to Japan, Korea, or anywhere else, simply scan the QR code that you see on screen, check the link in the pinned comment and the description, and use code word NakedGuru at checkout. That is going to give you a discount, and it also helps support the channel too. Now let's get back to today's story.
As you see, you probably see from outside, it's just a very long building.
Yeah. Do you spend much time indoors here? Because you said you're out on the land quite a lot, right? So
yeah. Usually mornings I'll go make coffee. Mimi will get up early, start sweeping the shop. I'll go make coffee. We'll have coffee outside.
Yeah.
Talk about the plans for the day, and then I'll go and play on the farm. I always tell her I'll see you in an hour, and I'm 4 hours later. So I'll come back, shower, we'll have lunch, and then I'll sit in there and catch up with some admin things, emails, and then we'll go and sit outside. Some friends will come round. We'll sit outside and they'll have a couple of beers. And it's a decent sized bedroom.
Wow, this is big, isn't it? Mimi's extensive wardrobes.
Yes. So Mimi collects a couple of things. One of them is umbrellas.
Umbrella.
You collect umbrellas, Mimi?
Yes.
And hats.
And hat.
And hats.
And rooms.
And room. Second floor.
Every time I want to build another room. So we've actually got 3 rooms that are not used.
Okay.
Second floor kitchen, second floor in the shop,
Yep.
and then the guest room up there.
Oh yeah, you did. You mentioned this bath. Wow.
Look at the tiling.
This is colourful, Mimi. So you got the bath in here,
Yeah.
and then you love the tiles, yeah?
Yeah.
Are they your dogs and cats or not?
Sam, I don't like the real, right? Because my nose is problem with the what they call in Thailand.
Allergy.
Yeah,
Pear,
yeah,
right?
pear,
Yeah.
yeah. That's why I only picture is okay, but not look after them.
So you can't have real dogs and cats. So you thought, I'll put them in the bathroom
Yeah, yeah,
so you can see them when you're in the bath.
yes.
I think I gave up at counting 24 different styles of tiles in here.
Yeah, because you got some on the floor as well. You got shells. Is it something that you would choose, Tam, yourself, for tiling?
As a future, no,
No.
but it works.
But you've come to love it.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It's quirky.
I don't know if you've noticed, but outside the house as well, it's all different colours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely, Mimi. Lovely tiles. So this extension, Tam, was this added?
So this was here already.
Beautiful spiral staircase.
It's gorgeous, and that goes up to just a big open room, which overlooks the village
Yep.
and over to Cambodia.
So this also could double as another guest room. You could open a hotel here, Tam.
It's not waterproof, is it? The shop there.
Okay, so this is the village,
Yeah.
and most of these houses are Mimi's family.
Yep. Everything you can see here around to that blue one is Mimi's family.
Perfect. Who does the cooking, Mimi?
Me, Farang food time. Mine is Thai time. If,
Does Thai food.
yeah, yeah.
So do you cook every day, or just maybe a couple times a week, or?
Every day.
Every day?
Because we like spicy, right? Spicy more than double spicy.
Okay, lovely. Now, I often ask this on the vlog as well. For expats living out in rural Thailand, sometimes it's easier to budget. So in terms of like costs of living, like monthly expenditure, do you find that it's quite consistent, or is it up and down? Do you track it, or don't you track it? And what would the average be in Surin, do you think, for Westerners?
Right. So we will spend about 40,000 a month on everything we need to. Everything we need to do. 13,000 on luxuries, like going away for the weekend, and then there's about another 7,000 on investments.
Okay.
And that can be investment just buying more stuff for the shop, or crypto, or whatever. So I do track it.
Yeah, yeah. And that includes like your bills, electricity bill here, and obviously your rent free.
Yeah, rent free. So we've got 3 electricity meters here. We've got one for the kitchen, one for the house, and one for the shop.
Yeah.
And together they're about 4,000 baht.
Okay, alright.
So there's no aircon in the shop yet.
Yeah.
So there's just fans. Aircon for the house. There's no aircon in here.
Okay.
So it's really cheap.
And so you find that's quite consistent as well throughout the year? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. The biggest cost for us in the shop is the fridges. We've got 3 big fridges, 2 double fridges, a single fridge, and then a freezer for the ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest charge. Yeah. So this is Mimi's garden,
Okay.
and she just started trimming it and setting it up again. So in here there's 600 dragon fruit plants ready to go to the land.
And so you did mention that within the shop, a lot of people come to your shop for the chicken eggs, right?
Yes,
Why is that in particular?
Well, we've had 35 chickens in here for just over a year now. On and off, I've been breeding black soldier fly, and plus we've got actual live trees in here. You get a lot of grubs, so we dig up the grubs maybe once a week. I feed them the larvae from the black soldier fly, and the yolks of these eggs are orange. They're not like the yellow commercial eggs. They're orange. They're absolutely amazing. So people will drive from Ban Run, which is 4 or 5 kilometres away, just for the chicken eggs.
And do you sell them at Thai prices? Are they divided up into number 0, number 1, number 2, like the Thais do? Or?
So we went through that stage when they started laying. We would sell the small ones, and then as they get bigger, and then we bought another flock. So we had a mixture of small, medium, large. So yeah, she was doing that.
Yeah.
But now she just throws them out at 120 baht a tray.
Okay.
120 baht for 30. These eggs, mate, they're amazing.
So you think it's a profitable enterprise even, or is it something more she does for a hobby?
Yeah, bit of both. So more of a hobby. It's great keeping them. They love her, she loves them. To feed 35 chickens, it's about 70 baht a day,
Okay.
and then she'll make 120 baht. So it's like 50 baht a day.
Okay.
So I even looked into producing my own feed, and I couldn't beat the commercial bags. So we'll pay about 535 baht a bag.
Okay.
But I'll say 70 baht a day, and she'll get back 120. When my black soldier fly are up and running, because we had to close that down because of the evacuation. If I'm feeding them 15-20% protein from that, she can reduce the feed costs.
But this is another thing that ties you here as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking after the animals.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many people. So many people stayed because they had cows. I think you covered it before. That's their living, walking bank account.
Yeah.
They get so much money invested in it.
So the hens have got an outdoor space as well. Wow, you got loads of them in there.
Yeah.
And your nesting boxes are over there.
So the first batch live in there and the second batch live in there. And never the twain shall meet.
Because they've socialised that way, right?
Oh, they just attack on each other.
Yeah.
They're crazy.
So as is quite typical of the time of year, it's mega raining, like a proper monsoon. And you can see the road here as well as flooded. It's like a river. And because of this, we've not been able to go and visit Tams farm area, but he's going to tell us a little bit about it now, and you're going to get to see it anyway on the vlog. Tam, one of your main projects here is agroforestry, right?
Yeah, so having studied mainly permaculture when I was in Australia, self-study, that was one of the things that sort of opened my eyes, or sort of like bright lights when I first came to Surin, was the chance of trying out what I have a theory. So about a year ago, Mimi and I bought 3.5 rai of really good land. It wasn't rice fields, so it didn't have to be built up. You know, rice fields, you've got to get truckloads of dirt to build it up. So it was good flat land. It had been previously used for mansapalang, cassava. So at the very back of the land, there's a nice wooded area which gives you shade during the hot season.
Yeah.
So that 25 metres coming down from there is going to be our homestead. That's where we're going to build a house of some descript. And then from there, I've got one rai which I've developed four raised mounds. So I've raised these mounds but dug away trenches. And that initially was for 32 durian trees. And because durian love water, but they hate their feet getting wet, if you know what I mean. They like the water to run over it. So you water durian all day long, trickle feeding it, but never let the roots sit in water. Okay. So that's when we built these mounds. So that was the plan up until recently. With the intense rains, with catching dengue, with being evacuated, it kind of put us behind the 8 ball, and I lost that window of opportunity for planting such a large orchard of durian. And durian has to get in the ground, A, to be established for the water, but get itself really established for the forthcoming hot season. So what I've done now is I've got one row of mango trees, I've got one row of avocado, one row of durian, and one row of lamut, which is sapodilla, which is another soft big stone fruit.
Yeah.
So just recapping, we've got the top 25 metres is the homestead, then one rai of orchard, then the next rai is a pond. We've just excavated a bigger pond, and then Mimi's got about 3/4 of a rai where she's going to plant red dragon fruit, Kelmankon. She's going to plant red dragon fruit, which is amazing. My principles were along the lines of permaculture, but I've also integrated some syntropic agro-food forestry, which really is farming with trees. Mm-hmm. So as a lot of the Thais will ask me, what are you doing, Farang? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? And I say, well, look at the forest. No one feeds the forest, but the forest survives. It grows, it flourishes. If you walk in and chop down some trees, you give it light, it'll leave. So that's what I'm doing, but in a more manageable manner. I'm growing long tree lines, 70-metre tree lines, times 5 through my 20 metres. And that's all going to be a food forest. And interplanted there, I'll have some acacia and some eucalypts and some bananas for early succession and basically feeding biomass. So all the bananas that I planted won't necessarily go to fruit. If I feel I need to chop them down to feed the land, I'll do that. My eucalypts, which is always raises their eyebrow, because any Antipodeans watching this, first thing they'll say is you can't plant eucalypts. You can't plant trees under eucalypts, you can't do it. So I can, and I'm doing it.
So what is your aim for it? It's about sustainability, like, and you growing your own food, like, or it's more like a learning hobby, or is it more experimental? Like you said, you're using eucalyptus, whereas most people probably wouldn't use eucalyptus.
Correct.
Because it's said to take all the nutrients from the soil, right, and eat and swallow everything up.
It is.
Plus you're growing on cassava land, which is probably already in the toilet, because cassava is one of the worst offenders for eating nutrients out of the soil, right?
Correct, spot on. So let's start with the cassava. So we actually ploughed that to rye and planted cassava. Just as a textbook exercise to see how much manpower and harvest. And then soon after I did that, I went, I'm not going to harvest this. So I've knocked the tops off the cassava after 6 months and left the roots underneath. Because I need as much organics in that soil, because it's just unstructured sand.
Yeah.
I actually broke a drill bit in the sand.
Yeah.
But you pour water on it and it dissolves.
Right.
It's just unstructured. So I've now got my cassava plants where I knock the tops off them and lay them down. And then in the furrows, I've got biochar. I've also got cow manure, pig manure, chicken manure, and I've got rice husks and straw.
Yep.
So I've actually filled in the furrows. My first batch, a test batch, they've gone crazy. Neighbours have planted banana trees around me 6 months to a year before mine, and mines are just thicker, bigger, greener, because I feed them.
Yeah.
The locals, it's partly they don't know, partly there's no funding to do what I do, but all mines is doing is taking time.
You did say that you want to build a guest house there. Is
That's
for the future? Is that going to be a business, or it's more for family friends?
So yeah, that's a good question. So it's always up and down depending on the bureaucracy, Ryan. The farm stay will be on, but I've since delayed that until next year. There's a lot going on at the moment.
Yeah.
And I don't want to invest too much more at the moment until I'm a bit more settled in my mind.
Seems to be a lot of this going on at the moment. I've covered quite a bit of it on my channel, but what I have noticed is there's a lot of differences between provinces. Some provinces are pushing for this, and they really want these farm stays to pop up. Others seem more reserved and even prohibitive of such things. Like, how are you finding it with Surin, or if you don't want to be specific, have you found that there's some variation there?
So I haven't dived in that far. I haven't spoken to many people about it. We've been to see Michael and Nong up in Yasso.
Yeah.
We've been to see Chris and X through in Sisaket. And I was talking to Chris about this. I was like, well, there's the guy in Ubon, there's you in Sisaket, there could be me in Surin, there could be Ryan in Buriram, and there could be my mate who's...
There won't be any Ryan in Buriram, mate.
that old farmhouse has got farm stay written all over it, mate. So there's actually a good, you build it and they will come.
Yeah.
You can do the Gringo Trail in South America, you can do the Garden Trail in South Africa. So you can create a trail through the border to Ubon and beyond.
Yeah.
Because Thailand doesn't stop at Ubon. You go through that gateway and you've got Laos to the right, left, and then you get Vietnam, and then you get down to Cambodia.
Do you think there's a hunger for that in Thailand tourism? If you've been to Thailand many times, you've been to your Phukets, you've been to your Pattayas, and maybe you want to mix it up a little bit and get into the rural areas and open up those areas. The difficulty is, all that there really is kind of some quiet hotels out here, and it can be a little bit samey unless you really know what to do and what to look for, right? Exactly. Do you think there's a hunger for that in Thai tourism?
Hunger might be too strong a word, but there'll be a want for it because we want it.
Yeah.
During the evacuation, we didn't book any hotels. We just looked for good resorts, and we found some beautiful resorts. We drove past some, we pre-booked, and they were amazing. Even when I used to be in the Navy as well, we'd go to different countries where you'd be sick of staying in the same bar, so you go and look for something different. And we used to go camping up in the hills of Greece, Crete, Corfu to get away from the bars. So I think of the 2 million or so expats here in Thailand, I think there's a need for it.
So Tam and Mimi, final questions. It looks like Tam can live out here in rural Thailand. Some foreigners cannot live out here. Maybe a little bit boring for some, or they don't like it. But Tam seemed like he fit into this lifestyle. Do you think?
Up to him.
Oh, listen, let's be realistic. It's a great place, but you do have your tie down days. Like yesterday, I had a bit of a meltdown.
Okay.
But you have them.
So what do you think it is? Because I can understand what you mean as well. There are some times where you question, oh, you know, is this the right thing, or is what is it for you? The reason.
It goes back to 24 years military. When we say a time, we mean that time, if not 5 minutes earlier, not 2 days later. Standards of cleanliness, standards of work, standards of finishing, standards in products. Like 80% of things you buy on Lazada don't work.
Do you think?
But it's all me. Because look, Thailand's happy.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It can from a certain angle it can look like, how the hell does things happen? But they're happy, so it's me.
Yeah.
Right. My mentality, I meditate and I have a chat with myself in the mornings.
Yeah.
Yesterday's gone, today starts again. I'm not going to put a down on anything, but yeah, there's certain things that really get to you.
And maybe even more amplified for you because you're a military background. Exactly. So you like everything a certain way, and that definitely clashes with the Thai way of life. Yeah. That's a definite.
Oh, 100%.
You know.
100%, mate. And Mimi coined the phrase a couple of weeks ago. We were driving one day and I had a meltdown with something. She goes, "Oh, fire, Jai Yen Yen. Yeah. I'm the water to your fire." And she is. She's my calming influence. Yeah. She makes everything better.
I think we all need that in life, don't we? You need somebody to sometimes is not exactly the same as you. It's the opposite, and so you're dealing with that through meditation, through Mimi. Yeah. And do you find that as the years go on, it's getting better for you or not?
It is getting better because it needs to get better. I recognise it's there. Yeah. My disparity with a lot of the local things. So it's up to me to change it and also not see it as me reducing my standards.
What about you, Mimi? Do you think that he now is more Jai Yen as the time goes on?
Yeah, more Jai Yen.
Yeah.
The first, I need to told him is a Thai culture and European culture is very different.
Yeah.
Need to Jai Yen Tirak.
If I was to sit in a bar in Pattaya or Bangkok, have a nice condo or by the beach, wake up in the morning, go for my coffee, pat the dog, go and sit in the deck chair, go back to bed at night, read a book, watch Netflix, life's a dream. But that's not me.
Yeah.
I need to be kept busy. So the more you do, like you're building a shop, you're trying to raise a farm, you're trying to plant trees, you're doing all this. So the more you do, the more conflict I'm finding. Mm-hmm. And then I calm back down again and just do one thing.
Do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to share on this, Tam, about what you're doing here or your thoughts of becoming an expat in Thailand?
So I know it's deep down it's the right thing for me to be here and what I'm doing. I actually jump out of bed in the mornings, albeit about an hour after Mimi, but I get up and I'm straight to the farm. I get my exercise. I'm doing something meaningful, albeit for us and the family. But one thing I should have done was maybe do a SWOT analysis on myself in this situation, but then again you can't until you see it. Mm-hmm. So I think anyone looking at doing this, find a damn good friend you can talk to and do a SWOT analysis, not only in the lifestyle that you're going to adopt, but on how you would react to that lifestyle, knowing all the anecdotes, the ups and downs, and find someone that will tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I think that's so. You got to find out what the situation is, and then how you would react to it. Because I've been to 63 countries. Thailand is by far the most interesting, unique, in so many levels, from the language to the people, to the attitude, to the government, to the shopping. Work out your situation and do a SWOT analysis on how you will handle that.
That's a very military piece of advice.
Yeah. Funny old thing that.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, guys. It's been a shame with the weather and that I was unable to throw in your place. But thanks for inviting me. It's been very interesting talking to you. And there's something to be learned for potential expats in the future. So thank you for inviting me, guys. Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure, Ryan.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.